Oh, damn. I've got a new song.
Let's start the show. Actually, I also
don't know if you
see.
see. Suno's been in the news for two reasons. One, the CEO is an idiot. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that interview where he basically said that no one wants to spend time learning how to make music and playing an instrument. That's boring. Yeah. People just want to make music instantly. And even I was like, you know what? I don't think I should use this man's platform anymore. And you know what I immediately did after that? I used this platform. Was also now they're being sued by the German Rights Association because they were training the data on music from their catalog and they didn't notify the artist again. So they really do enjoy being in court. But here, Dan, is an Afro tech intro. Let me know what you think. Afro tech.
Voices bounce like echoing caves. Two voices that know no fear, bringing truths you need to hear. From the streets to the heart of the town, laughter rises, never lets you down. They light up every silent room, dancing rhythms in full bloom. Two broke Twimbos all night long. Two broke Twimbos sing our song.
Hey.
Two broke Twimbos hear the call. Two broke Twimbos standing tall. Stories burst like morning sun.
Okay, you got a sample of the first one. Okay, here's the new one. Here's another one.
Tuning in on the radio waves, voices bounce like echoing caves. Two voices that know no fear.
Oh, what?
Bringing truths you need to hear.
From the streets to the heart of the town, laughter rises, never lets you down.
Oh, you got Gemma on this.
Every silent room,
Nice.
dancing rhythms in full bloom. Two broke Twimbos all night long. Two broke Twimbos sing our song. Two broke Twimbos hear the call. Two broke
Here comes the drop. Hey, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I can mess with this one. I can mess with the second one a little bit.
You know, actually, before I forget, you mentioned Gemma. So funny enough, against my will, I wasn't watching. I just happened to be in the living room because, as you know, Dan, whenever I go to the living room or the kitchen, I'm accosted with terrible TV.
We are going to talk about because I know exactly what you're going to say. You're going to talk about Sorry Not Sorry on that.
Ed Young Gifted in Africa.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to talk about it.
Have you put in the show so I don't forget? Yeah, but shout out to Gemma for that sync placement. But yo, that so dweezy.
This is how we starting the show today, and I'm relatively new to the Afro tech scene, right? Because of all these deep end events and whatever that I've been attending. Shout out Samuel Cosmic, Night Freak. Shout out Ryan Synth. But every single event I've been to, this song plays. And it sounds so familiar and I didn't know what it was, so I had to go look for it. And what a banger!
Sadly, I can't hear what you...
Oh, sorry. I need to turn on original music.
Oh, you didn't know the song? That white boy cooked on this item. Cooked.
Hey. And the thing is, everyone knows this song because the moment they start hearing, they go crazy. And I get it.
Yeah, shout out to Damaya. Was it Damaya? Is it Damaya?
I don't know if you've seen the trending conversation on the timeline about Afrotech. Because people are like, at this point, what is Afrotech? Because someone was like, oh yeah, brand new Afrotech remix of Maroon 5. This is that brand new Afrotech remix of... And people were like, yo, okay, at this point, what makes it Afrotech? And it's a big debate that's going on. Because people were saying, right now, the biggest Afrotech songs are the widest songs out. How'd you answer that, Philip?
Which are the biggest Afrotech songs out?
I don't know. I don't know the scene. I was just looking at people talking about it. Because now that I've started looking for...
Okay, wait.
You know how
Here's
phones
a
are
question.
listening to us.
Dan, also, who are these people? Are these people qualified to give informed opinions? Or are they Dennis?
You can say that all you want, but he's on hip-hop songs now. And he's viewed as a guru. Shout out Dennis, man. Do you know what? I actually understand. And props to you, bruh. Props to you. Anyone can do anything. Let this be a lesson that the sky is the limit. You could do anything. Let me see if I can find what this debate was. It was a big enough debate that it came across my timeline a couple of times. Okay, I don't know. I never saved it. It's somewhere there. But my point is, valid questions are asked. What makes something Afrotech? African instruments? Okay, so does that just mean if there's conga drums in there or something, then it's not Afrotech? Or I don't know. I would love to know like the technical definitions. We need to ask someone who works in the field.
Afrotech is Afro house with techno elements. It's a merger of techno and Afro house at 125 BPM. Typically with elements of tribal house. It's the evolution of tribal house, and preferably made by someone of African descent. Obviously originating.
That's not happening no more. That ain't happening no more.
Music is global as long as people know where it originated.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really care as long as the music bangs.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to you. That's a song by Damaya. And I actually just looked it up quickly. Damaya was a reference, You Are by Damaya was made as a reference to Black Coffee song. Also titled
Oh. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Well, as much as we have an Afrotech intro, we don't have an Afrotech theme song. We don't have an Afrotech intro. So...
Dude, this is Afrotech then. I put Afrotech clearly in the prompt, and then I even listed some Afrotech artists, and this is what it gave me. So clearly this is Afrotech. Get your act together, man. This is Afrotech. So the new sound is.
I mean more along the lines of y'all
Good to go. Sound of it, thing them. Get mad now. Let me hear a drum play.
Welcome there. Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. Two Broke Twimbos is back one more again. Brand new in a brand new year. And we're having a good time, ready to interact with all of y'all and make sure that you are aware of everything that is going on in Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world. My name is Danny That Guy, a.k.a. Denias, a.k.a. Denimbi, My Life Your Entertainment, a.k.a. Denford Wik Maraini, a.k.a. I'm done with these streets. Somebody help me find my dog, damn. A.k.a. Akuna Mumwendi Danmu.
Hello, good guys. How are you doing? I hope you're well this lovely evening. I am Phil Chart, aka Flint Floss, the Big Boss, aka Feeds a Peen, aka Phil on Musk, aka DJ Sexington Lovu, Filthy Phil, and of course, dear companion, please get me a beverage. How are you guys doing? I'm very excited and hyped to be here. And Dan, how are things over there?
Yeah, no, good, eh? What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Here we are, living, breathing, doing what we got to do to survive. The year started on a hectic note, which is a good thing. Lots to do, lots to accomplish. Too little time to accomplish it all in, but that's the life that we prayed for. We wanted to be booked, busy, doing things, and here we are doing things in a brand new year. It's good to be here.
That's right. It's great. It's great positivity all around. And it's a bit of a busy week, but I'm hoping I'm doing the best that I can. And that's all you can ask for, really. And we have a roof over our heads, got food in our bellies, and the spirit is full. All right, then. So let's get on to the podcast, Dan. What do we got to talk about today?
Great way to introduce new listeners who come from our viral TikTok.
Yeah, this is what they came for.
Who are dying to know who the gangsters in Greystone Park are. Let's start off with Africans doing big things across the globe. We want this podcast to be a celebration of African art, entertainment, media, etc. So, someone we spent a lot of time talking about in 2024, and it does not look like we will be reducing that talking. Is South African singer extraordinaire Tyla, who looks like she's going to be having another phenomenal year. She's got an exclusive homecoming concert that is going to be streaming on Showmax and DSTV. It's apparently going to be a big deal. So looking forward to that. That's going to be on the 1st of February. And I can't open Showmax without this thing throwing it in my face. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Hey, yo.
Huge shout out to Tyler landing this huge gig. I sincerely hope there was an extremely large bag attached to this. You know, streaming a concert. Big things. Then we want to give another big shout out to Winkedy. All right. Our Winkedy, who, according to our producer, was nominated for the IROMA Awards, the International Reggae and World Music Awards. He is nominated, let me give you the exact, he's nominated for Best African Dancehall Entertainment. So we hopefully will be seeing a win. Coming up against him, Shatawale of Ghana, Red Sun in Kenya, Sheba in Uganda, Nkule Dube in South Africa. Notably absent, Fantana is not here from Ghana, so, you know.
Which Fantana?
Not meaning to be a hater or anything. Anyway, these nominations.
Which Fantana?
Miss Fantana Platinums. Anyway.
Cheryl Underwood's daughter.
No. I don't know whose daughter she is.
No, Dan, look, Google right now while you're here. Google Cheryl Underwood. Google her.
Okay. Why am I Googling this? Okay.
And then load up images.
Cheryl Underwood's daughter.
No. I never said daughter. I said Cheryl Underwood.
Cheryl Underwood.
I never said daughter.
Okay.
I just said Google Cheryl Underwood. See, then that can listen to instructions.
Yes. Oh, she does look like Cheryl Underwood. Anyway, congratulations for the nomination to Winky D and team. We're going to find out who's going to actually win the award at the International Reggae and World Music Awards on the 30th of March, 2025. And while we're celebrating Africans, we just heard that the host for the 5th consecutive year of the Grammys will be none other than Trevor Noah, Mr. Get to a Bag himself.
I got better that tender kuti.
He is holding that tenderpreneur. Chayo. Shout out to Trevor Noah, who will be the host once again. That's such a big deal, man. 5 years in a row. Hey. No, shout out to my man's doing his thing. 5th year in a row. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I think I think it's worth celebrating. The Grammy Awards are going to be happening about a week's time on the 2nd of February. The 67th Grammy Awards. So yeah, we've celebrated some Africans, Philip. We've started the podcast on a high energy, positive note. All right, let's get into upbuilding things that really affect the price of suds at home. Did Elon Musk perform a Nazi salute at the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America?
Is water wet, Dan?
This is very important to us here in Africa, and we need to figure out the answer to that question.
Dan, I hate to quote Mac G, but if you remember a few months ago, Mac G interviewed Elon Musk's dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I
did not watch it, but I couldn't think of anything I least wanted to watch than that. Wanted to? Oh, my goodness. I couldn't think of anything else I didn't want to watch as much as I didn't want to watch that.
In a weird dichotomy that shows the two extremes of Mac G, damn near almost unprompted, Elon's dad goes into a long story about Elon's granddad, Elon's mother's father, was essentially a Nazi in Canada. And massive revelation, obviously. Granted, I don't think Elon nor the rest of the family would want that information to become public fodder. Or maybe it was a dog whistle. Who knows? But in typical Mac G fashion, he just stands like no follow-up questions. No, let's dig deep into this, how this may have affected your views of your wife, how those views might have transferred to the son. Nah, he's just, word, cool. That's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. So did he baps? Did he baps that? But so I repeat, if it howls like a duck,
okay,
and quacks like a duck,
I hate to spend any time on this, but like I've said, guys, these days I don't say stuff on my Twitter anymore because I know I have a podcast. From where I sit, there's 3 distinct possibilities. Number 1, Elon Musk is secretly a Nazi and is part of a network of very highly placed people who are doing their best to maneuver world affairs to bring back the Third Reich. And this was him putting a call out to action that the conditions have now been met and we can move forward. While all things are possible in the world, I sincerely doubt that's what happened. Second option, Elon is secretly a Nazi and accidentally revealed this because he was overcome by emotion or ketamine or who knows whatever else. And now he's like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, now I have to cover it, which I think is more likely than the first scenario. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about a lot of people's history and whatever, but definitely weird. And the third option is this dude is just so damn stupid when it comes to social cues and understanding the world and whatever, that he performed a Nazi salute without thinking that he was doing it. I think both of those second options...
Dan, he did it twice.
Yeah, I know. I think both of those options... Okay. Do you think it's likely that he was making a secret call that it's now time?
No, I don't think he was making a secret call that it's now time. If you remember, there's actually a very detailed article on Bloomberg that I haven't finished that speaks about how all these media platforms have been platforming red pillars and racist and, for lack of a better term, neo-Nazis. If you recall, I think last week, but prior to this, Elon's burner account got exposed. And on that burner account, he was making fun and insulting the Red Hatters, the MAGAs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fair to say that going into a critical time when the inauguration is happening, he needs to solidify his position with the president. He needs to solidify his position with surrounding the president. And we've seen who the American president may like to surround himself with. Elon's position was tenuous. So a grand gesture to make sure that he's like, yo, fam, I'm repping the set. I'm about it. Dipset all day. Brr, 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 might have been necessary. So I don't put it past him to do that. That's one of the motivations. The other motivation simply could be like, yo, I'm trying to show these guys I'm repping my set without need for making up. This is what we do. Or this is a sign of things to come. Or you're right. Maybe he's autistic and he totally forgot that he was in mixed company and he did what he normally does in his bedroom before he goes to bed. I don't know.
So
But
okay. I don't want to say all things are possible, but I'm just using the information I have to try and find out what is more likely or less likely. I think it's what you've described is quite unlikely because of all the grand gestures to make towards the people that you want to demonstrate that you're on their side. I don't believe that is one that would have worked. If he's trying to get in with Trump or trying to get in with
get in
leadership,
worked with who?
Trump and his administration.
Dan, do you know what's one of the first things Donald Trump did when he? Okay, screw it. Do you know what one of the first things Donald Trump did when he got into office is?
I'm assuming he put graffiti on Obama's portrait.
Possibly, but he pardoned over 1,200 people who were all involved in January 6th. Every single person that did January 6th was pardoned.
So
amongst those people were swastikas. Amongst those people.
So should they? So if they had swastikas, they shouldn't have been pardoned. We are making correlations that don't exist.
Dan, no. What I'm saying, you're saying, what Elon did was unnecessary, and I'm giving you evidence to say I don't think it was unnecessary. I think that's part of the set. That's what the set represents. That's what the set is about. That's what the set values. That to him, or in his interpretation, he's like, yo, I'm showing these guys I'm down for the cause. We don't even know if that was his penance for the F up he did. We don't even know that.
Okay, so a possibility here, which you are touting forward as something that could possibly be the explanation for all of this is Elon Musk has kind of made Trump or whoever's behind the scenes or the deep state or whatever you want to call it, he's made them upset. He was either asked to do penance or by himself, he thought, I need to show that I am actually on your side. So he went up at the inauguration. He did this thing which many people have interpreted as a Nazi salute. And then immediately afterwards, he denied it. And everyone was like, yeah, that's what shows that he's down with us. Secondly, is it likely that in a neutral position, I am on the outs with Trump? I need to figure out a way for me to get back in, whether it's Trump or maybe if it's not Trump, or some people might say that Trump is just the face of this, conservative, low-key fascist movement. I need to show that I am in with them. Therefore, what is the best way for me to publicly show that I am down for the cause? And it's to make this could be interpreted as a Nazi salute and then immediately deny it afterwards. Is that the best way to show that? I'm thinking from a neutral perspective, those explanations don't quite make sense. They're possible.
Okay, so let's go to Occam's razor. To you, what is the simplest and most palatable or reasonable explanation?
I'm literally using Occam's razor. I'm saying everything is possible. That seems a little far-fetched to me. What seems the simplest is this dude is, maybe he's a genius at coding, but he's an idiot at reading social cues. And he did something that he thought was cool or he thought was whatever, and it was a Nazi salute.
No, okay. When you say he thought it was cool, what did he think he was doing?
I don't know. Weird chest pounding. I don't know. Whatever it is. Listen, I'm not here saying. I'm sitting here weighing possibilities. Is there some deep conspiracy? I mean, there probably is. But is the answer to this deep conspiracy that Elon Musk must show that he's repping the set by doing something that he'll immediately deny afterwards?
But is that not what the set does constantly? Do they not do stuff and then deny it?
That's kind of the point. So that's kind of the point. So everything is done low key in the shadows, kind of and deny it's not really a thing.
If I can deny it, and the ADL will come to my defense, which is wild. The ADL will immediately tweet and say,
what the ADL is.
Anti-Defamation League. They're basically the Jew online cancel police. Anytime anyone does anything remotely anti-Semitic, the ADL is on their nuts.
Mhm.
Like, so I can see what you're saying. I'm just saying my worldview, my experience, what I've seen and what I've experienced. That is what I genuinely believe. Obviously, I'm not inside his head, neither are you. So we can both offer reasonable explanations or examples, but from everything I've seen, from everything that they've done, from all the movements they're making, I don't think that was a mishap in any manner, shape, or form. I believe that was very deliberate. I think that when we talk about dog whistles,
if we're gonna
when
use
we talk
Occam's
about
razor, man, we really believe that. Look,
Dan,
I don't
let
know.
me, Dan, let me, okay, look, let's run through some scenarios. Dan, let's run through. Look. I'm even gonna I'm stiffening myself up. Okay. Love you guys. Love you. Wait. Now, so for me to do what Elon did, I've got to take my right hand, right? I got to put it over my heart, like I'm about to, like I'm about to sing the national anthem. Proud of you, nigga. Then I not only do I extend elbow, then like loosey goosey. This is great for video, by the way. Like I make sure that the moment this hand leaves my chest straight. Dan, come on, man.
You see.
Okay. I've seen Indiana Jones and Captain America too many times. I'm sorry.
The premise of this is based on, is the gesture that he did commensurate with a Nazi salute? Clearly it is. Answer is clearly yes. My man made a gesture that is 100% congruent with what a Nazi gesture would be.
Yo, Dan, are you scared? Do you think Elon has Drake's lawyers? Is that what's going on right now? Are you scared of a lawsuit?
I'm a person who doesn't like to get caught up in emotional hype and oh my God. Oh, I'm like, okay, guys, let's be for real. I don't think Elon is a good person. I don't think ever on this podcast I've come across as if I'm a fan of his. In our group, I am very quick to roast him. Do I think he's a Nazi specifically? Anything is possible. I don't know him well enough, and sometimes he moves a little funny. I think he's got some weird thoughts and ideas. Do I think that he deliberately made a Nazi salute as a secret signal? Absolutely not. I think, absolutely not. I think secret, highly unlikely.
But okay, wait, then is
it possible he was defaulting to muscle memory and he just did something that he does in private and forgets that he's on national TV? I think that's more likely. That's probably more likely than he was making a secret signal to the deep cabal.
No, wait, no, Dan, but
don't interrupt. Let me say my point, Nay Philippe. I'm just saying what I think.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Cabal. No, I was gonna say I am not saying it's just secret cabal. I think when I say dog whistling, I mean there's a lot of things that people say when they get on national TV, public platforms, even speeches, whatever, that the recipient knows what's being said. You know what? We're tired of all these thugs coming in our neighborhoods and taking our women. Mm-hmm. Right? We know what the context, what the subtext is in that statement. It's not secret. It's very clear and transparent. Mm-hmm. I think, as I said, I don't think it was secret. I just think man was just saying I'm down for the set. And he knows with the climate that we're in, it's very easy to do something like that and it immediately be denied. The same thing, like so many other things are denied in our faces. We saw a pandemic happen. People denied, like today, people deny it. And there are people that support the denials. While the pandemic was happening, people were denying it. We've seen people get killed by cops. People get killed in broad daylight and people denied. I don't think it's beyond it. All I'll say is what? You know what? I think to be fair to Elon, since we use this app, as the kids say, it was sus. Very sus. But also, when I look at your history, when I look at your family's history, when I look at some of the words you say, when I look at your long-termism ideology, which really sounds a lot like eugenics, and the fact that you're from Pretoria, I'm sorry. all signs point to one direction. And I'm not talking about the band.
Niall Horan and crew. I don't deny that Musk has some sus things going around him and his family, and he has said some weird stuff and all of that. And I also don't deny that there's clearly a huge movement towards red pill and manosphere and whatever. And clearly that's what's mainstream now. That's what's in power and so on. What I think is unlikely is that this was him making a secret communication or making some kind of. I think it was him doing something stupid that in the moment he didn't think about, and then later on everyone's like, "Did you just Nazi salute?" He's like, "What? Maybe, I don't know. Did I? Damn, did I? Oh no, delete that." Or maybe their excuse is he's got autism. I don't look, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Wait.
I just think he sucks, man.
I don't understand. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me see if there's a video of like maybe this is a side effect of autism I am not aware of. You know what? Let me not judge. So I'm just gonna Google. Do autistic people do the Sig Heil involuntarily?
You see, that's just bad faith arguments, right? And I can see the people emotionally getting caught up in it because it is an emotional thing. I can see it, and then people will be like,
"Oh,
no, but
Reddit is on fire."
remember when Elon said this and said that?" I was like, okay. We've already established he is not a good person. We know that. My question to you is it likely that this platform at Trump's inauguration, Trump was expecting? Now, there's a second element to this, right? The second element is right now, like after the inauguration, Elon was tweeting about this Donald Trump AI investment thing, blah blah blah. I can't remember all the details. But basically, Donald Trump makes this big announcement. He's doing this whole thing. He's getting $100 billion from AI companies, and it's going to come up to 500 billion, whatever. And then Elon publicly, and the way it's phrased is like, this is like the biggest thing that Trump is going to be working on in office. This is one of his biggest achievements. Da 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 da. And Elon comes in and he basically slams it. Says this is trash. Blah 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 blah. It sounds to me, I don't know the power games that are being played. I don't have all the details. But it sounds to me that Elon, as many other people, have made some very, I hate to use the word shrewd, but I guess that's what it is in this context, sucking up to get into particular spaces purely for capitalistic reasons. Now that he's in this position, either he's trying to maintain or stay in there, or he's just... The one thing we know about Elon, he's been looking for the spotlight since his first paycheck from not PayPal, before PayPal. Before PayPal, the
Webscape.
Yes.
Netscape.
Since his first paycheck, his first purchase was a McLaren. Because you got to be seen as the baller. My man has made appearances in movies from Marvel and whatever. He appears in sitcoms because, he has a fake account. He wants publicity. He wants to be cool.
I think
he wants to be
he just wants love. I think he just wants love.
That's probably what it all boils down to. I think it's unlikely that he was making something. The two possibilities I think of are either one, he did something involuntarily or in the moment without realizing that, listen, dog, you're on national TV. I mean, he would have known that, but maybe caught up in drug. I don't know, whatever it is that he was on. Just, or he's just an idiot and a person who's an idiot socially, and he made weird movements. Have you watched like videos of him at other times during the inauguration?
He was
weird thumbs
but
up
also
and like
he's
facial
iron mushrooms,
tics and yeah. So
my man says iron mushrooms.
I don't know,
even Bezos. You see, Bezos was twitching, bro.
Eugenics is an MF. Anyway, This is not even things we're supposed to be talking about. I said it at the beginning of this podcast just to make a silly joke, but well, here we are. Phil, you know something we haven't done in a long time?
What is that, Dan?
We are the tech ombudsman for the people, them.
Oh, ombudsman. On they call me the tech ombudsman. Ombudsman. They call me your tech ombudsman.
A story that we've been paying attention to the whole of last year, really, is the developing story of how the United States of A was going to ban TikTok.
Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't want to talk about it last week, because I knew there might be something afoot.
So I'm sure everyone is aware of all the events that happened. But long story short, lots of people felt like, no, there's no way they'll ban it. Well, TikTok then actually took the initiative to just take it down. So
initiative. Right?
Yeah, because okay, here's my understanding. Right? So first of all, there's a little bit of a gray area of how some of these things would be enforced. So from what I read, it wasn't clear, for example, if it's illegal to have it on your phone, or should it just be taken down from the App Store, or should it be like geo-locked? Does that mean an American citizen could go use TikTok if they left the country? Like, a lot of these questions, some had some answers and some people felt different. So a lot of things weren't very clear. And from my understanding, right, everything that we experience on the internet comes to us through huge CDNs, or content delivery networks, right? The big content delivery networks in the United States are Oracle-based, and there's another company that I can't remember. So they're the ones that are mainly delivering TikTok to all your phones and whatever. Now, those CDNs were also liable for delivering illegal material. And allegedly, the story is that they were given assurances that, yes, while you normally would be liable, hold on, Trump is in the middle of doing something, so you don't need to take this kind of stuff down. And they were like, I don't know. Okay, cool. We believe you. Even though right now TikTok is available in the US, but that means they are in breach of this law, which means technically they should be getting prosecuted, but they were promised that they wouldn't be. Now, the flip side is TikTok are trying to strong arm and leverage their position to try and make the American judicial system and the executive arm and whatever to change their mind about this whole TikTok thing. So they knew that if they take down the service suddenly, rather than this whole sort of gray area, okay, this is not going to be available and that's going to be available, but you can do this and that, there was going to be huge outcry. And that huge outcry would then lead to political pressure on people to make a decision. And be as it were, I mean, as it turned out, as it turned out, the messaging that was put in the takedown notices and the return of service notices were clearly it was clearly a political move. It was political points that, don't worry, President Trump has saved it. He's brought it back.
Not only that, keep in mind, this is 2 days. Sorry. So I'm looking for a video that came up. But I said, most notably, notice it was called President Trump in the takedown and the restoration notice
before his inauguration.
Before he was sworn in as president. So, like, my man's was a civilian, granted a former president, but he's a civilian. Somehow he controls the TikTokies.
Anyway,
I knew something was afoot when this was posted.
Hi everyone.
This was
here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day to connect, create, discover, and achieve their dreams. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship.
Anyway, so it goes on. This is the CEO of TikTok, the man from Singapore, if you remember correctly.
Ah, yes. Ticaldo Toknan. I believe that's his name.
And so this was posted last week, Friday. So on Friday, they already knew, this is the plan. We're going to hit them with the message on Friday. We're going to shut them down Saturday, Sunday. We'll be back online. Make Trump look like a hero. Make everything look spiffy. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. We've got another 90 days to figure this out.
So
That's when I knew.
so
Look, as a Zimbabwean, I've seen this game. I've seen this game before.
Trump signed an executive order when he became president that gave TikTok a 75-day extension. So he then also intimated, he basically said, if China doesn't sell TikTok, we might go to war. Yo, what? I believe it.
Father, when did you lose your leg? Well, son, sit down. It was the great TikTok war of 2025.
He said if China or if Beijing rejected a deal for TikTok, it would be somewhat of a hostile act. That's what the president said on his second day in office, yo.
Yo. They're denying the TikTok. They're not letting us have it. So we've got to go to war. I don't like to go to war, but you know, we go to war the best. I have the best planes, the best jets, the best guns.
Apparently, there may potentially be a joint venture between the US and ByteDance or China. I don't. All I know is the next 4 years are going to be very worrying and very entertaining.
Fab. The first 3 years of this presidency have already been lit. And it's been 3 years. Since he was sworn in, it's been 3 years. This is the 23rd year.
Yeah.
This is the 23rd year of January right now. Please, it's been a long month. It's been a long week. My man's is on fire. I'm sure his hand was tied. Those first 2 days, my man's was just signing executive orders. The part that killed. Did
I
you
saw
see
some
when
clip where he signed
confused?
one and then he asked what it was after he signed.
Yeah, did you see the one where when they're signing the BRICS agreement
About Spain.
BRICS? Yes, BRICS has Spain. Spain.
You'll find out about that. Don't worry.
And South Africa was like, whoo, dodge the bullet.
Spain's like, why am I in it?
You know, this is like when you break a plate at home and your parents blame the other sibling and you're like,
Not me. I would sell myself out. I would sell myself out because it's not right that someone else gets in trouble for something I did. Man of honor.
that
and
tracks.
integrity.
That tracks.
Honor and
always.
integrity, Phil. Important.
Yes, and we know you always move with honor and integrity. That's what you are about.
I actually do. I actually do. They're good friends of mine.
Those are very Zimbabwean names.
There's just a couple of small things around this whole TikTok story that I wanted to mention. Number one, TikTok is dope, man. It's the most virological app. Like, it's the easiest app to go viral on.
That's racist. That's really racist, Dad. That's really racist. You're calling the Chinese app viral? You bastard.
It's the most Wuhanistic app.
Which reminds me. We'll come back to this. Let me even write this down. Do you know it's 5 years from when they first shut down Wuhan? We should have a flashback. Some flashback moments.
I think we should not have a flashback. I think it's best left in the past, and we should never look at it again because those were not good times.
I'm serious, it's real. It's getting real.
Girl, you look good. Want your vax that thing.
Hey!
One more time for the people there. One more time for the people there.
Coronavirus!
I'm serious, it's real. It's getting real.
Girl, you look good. Want your vax that thing.
No, when it comes to stabs, that was a stab. That was a quality stab.
It almost makes you wish coronavirus lasted a little longer so we could keep using it. You know what I'm saying?
This is such a wild.
Anyway, so I was saying around TikTok, right? It's such a great, like, we have a very minimal social strategy for this podcast. We record videos on Zoom. We have nice little webcams. We record some videos. We take a little bit of clips. We put it on our social platforms. The hope is that, hopefully it will get a couple of new listeners and, it keeps us, it has a nice little presence online. We don't have a dedicated team working on this. So honestly, I do this on a weekend and I line up all the clips for the week and post them up. We've now had 2 semi-viral posts on TikTok. None on any of the other platforms. Facebook is barely cracking, more than 30 views. I don't understand what's going on with Facebook. We've clearly been downranked there. But it would be such a shame to lose TikTok. I mean, I know it doesn't affect us here in Zim, but I would imagine it would be the beginning of the end. The second thing I wanted to say is, I know sometimes Phil, have you ever heard someone speak about something that you know a lot about, and as you're listening to them, you're like, you know nothing. You're an idiot. What are you talking
That's
about?
every day, then. Every day of my life, then. Every single day.
I have no doubt that there's people who listen to this podcast who are experts in certain fields. There's probably someone out here who's studied American politics for 20 years, and they're listening to our analysis of Trump, and they're like, you idiot! Blah, 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 blah. So, sorry. That's what this podcast is, right? We're just sharing our opinion. But I would like to believe that in the process of sharing our opinion, we make it quite clear that, hey, this is our opinion based on what we know, and we're quite willing to learn more. I was so frustrated with seeing people have conversations about this TikTok thing. And like we've mentioned, we know a little bit about it because we've been paying attention to the story and looking out for news stories about it. I've been getting alerts in my syndication feeds and whatever about TikTok stories. So I've been sort of following the story a little bit. So I feel like I know a little bit about it. And I see people speak so authoritatively, especially on the socials, and be speaking absolute nonsense. For example, the belief someone says with full chest that if it's banned in America, it means it's banned worldwide. What? No, because Google is an American company. Apple is an American company. That's where all the phones are. So, sorry. If you have an Android phone or if you have an Apple phone, it means it's also banned on your phone because they're American companies. What are you talking about?
Was this on Twitter, Dan?
Yes.
I think you might have fallen victim to a shit poster, which is baiting you for engagement.
Oh. No. No, it was multiple people debating and sharing their reasonings. Then the other thing I was going to mention is, you know how we've been discussing the so-called reasons or the reasons why TikTok is being banned, and the two major reasons that we'd been discussing over the past year was, number one, privacy, i.e., there's so much information that TikTok has about its users, and the fact that TikTok is owned by ByteDance, or majority owned by ByteDance, which is a Chinese company, it means they are obligated to share that information with the Chinese government should the Chinese government require it. So that's clearly a privacy concern. The second concern was influence, which was it's a Chinese company with where the Chinese government has got fingers within the company. So the fact that it's such a popular app in an air quotes hostile or at least an antagonistic nation means, is it possible that narratives could be shaped? Is it possible that misinformation could be shared deliberately by a hostile or an antagonistic foreign power to try and influence psyche, influence the way people think, and so on? An example of this was when accusations were made about Twitter at the time and Facebook and so on influencing American elections based on Russian influence, right? So could China be doing the same? And they have a direct line. It's not advertising that's being bought or whatever. They literally have a direct line to do it. So those were the two major reasons that had repeatedly been brought up. And then, people would say, yeah, but they're not that deep. And then people would say, no, but they are that deep because there's some stuff we know that that we can't tell you about this whole privacy thing. And it's a security risk and da-da-da. And then it's just, I see people like, they're talking about mind control. It's like, yo, it's different. I don't know why. Obviously, I expect there's a ton of people who talk nonsense all the time. Flat earthers exist in 2025. But specifically, this thing super annoyed me. I apologize to everyone who listens to this podcast who are very well versed on certain things that we talk about, and they'll be listening to us and just like, these guys know nothing, Jon Snow.
But that's the whole point. I think, Dan, we do a service because they'll listen to us and they'll be like, these idiots make me feel smarter. These idiots help with my self-esteem. You know what? It has been a tough day. My woman might have left me. Maybe my boss called me incompetent. I might have lost $1,000 on the exchange. But you know what? At least I'm not as dumb as these two. And that makes it all better. So you're welcome. That's what we're here for. Here to help. Say thank you.
All right. Anyway, let's move on. Let's keep talking about other things unless there's something you want to talk. Oh yeah, and the other thing I was going to mention was
5 years since Wuhan. We need to play homage.
the people who were thinking of buying TikTok, people like Mr. Beast and other random people. Just
They ain't buying TikTok,
Crazy
man.
stuff.
Let's move on. They ain't
Okay.
buying that.
So
Are we going to talk? Are we going to talk about Lawberry, Graham Cracker?
what is that? Oh,
Lawberry Graham.
okay. What do you want to talk about there?
Well, we haven't really discussed the lawsuit has evolved since. Well, we discussed it more on 6 Ways, but now I read through it and yo, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even feel good insulting Drake fans anymore. But there's a lot of things we can go at. We can go at him singling out black streamers. We can go at him saying that Not Like Us was anti-Semitic. We can go at his legal team's genius breakdown of the Not Like Us lyrics. Did you get a chance to read that part, Dan?
I did not.
Oh.
I did not read his lawsuit. I relied on TikTokers to relay the full information to me.
That's great, Dan. Getting third-party information is always a great idea. But I think one of the funnest parts of what's been going on, I think if you want to get a more detailed breakdown, Mark Lamont Hill has a good video on it. The Company Man has a good video on it. Open Mike Eagle has a good video on it. Even
Third-party information. Frankly, I don't want to hear more about it. Honestly, I'm okay. I'm tired of hearing that man outside of brand new song from Drake. That's the next time I want to hear that name, please.
This is the funnest part. So Drake pissed off the reactors and the streamers, and now the streamers have been dropping diss songs nonstop for the past 2 days.
I don't want no. Somebody could get up, you're
Drinking act, the double act, taking bubble baths. And couples therapy, they cuddling with bubble wrap. Hey, anything to cover bag and the numbers back. But why rap when lawsuits, he got a couple racks. Check his wheelchair, Jimmy never walked the walk. Quentin Miller gave him scripts, he could talk the talk. Know yourself, 10 bands, he's going wall to wall. That auto-tune gave him pitch, so we can walk to y'all. Hey. Laurie, leave that mag hosted. While they carry on with birds, they gon' trap vultures. I know the why to be more, come and tap soldiers. But this man, the Willie O'Neal of the rap culture. And that got a weird case, why is he around? Rocket can't be good for traffic, why is he in town? So many stranger things, I wonder why you take L's. But you too famous, I just hope the Millies age well. Hey. Checking in from Texas, I just hope you get the message. I just hope you learned a lesson. Houston, we got a problem. Ask Rihanna, he's obsessive. Got 42 rings like his father, he possessive. I'm kidding. My bad, did I push the T? Like father, like son, you been pushing P's. Talking about your clips, who you sonning when you pushing these? Cause every pick you taking with Adonis, thank Pusha T. Look, I ain't wanna diss you.
Every pick you take with Adonis, thank Pusha T.
Then you ain't Chernobyl on reactors, that's the issue. We like it when you sing.
Are you not tired of
you
this?
issues. Include us in your case.
It's hilarious. Hold
He's
on,
dead.
Dan.
Stop. He's dead. It's okay. Stop kicking him.
Let me break this up. This is a good one right here. This is a good one right here. No. Oh no, have they demonetized it? Here we go. Found it.
Pack them out, Screw.
Hey, whoop his feet, Screw. Do that for us.
They got you on an op list. Nah, you ain't going like that, Screw. Finish your food, man. Cook, nigga, cook.
Pack
Now,
him out, Screw.
He got all the reactors during the
him out.
intro.
Hey, bro, it's time to pack this goofy up.
It's all happening.
Shout out to Fave. R.I.P. to the Woo. Too many vultures, yes, I'm a coach. I'm just here to provoke you. Niggas been eating, but niggas been poachers. Tell them the time is over, hey. Is you dumb, is you stupid? Can't you tell that it's a movement? I done made it on the op list. You can make it on my op list. Got lit, I done made it on the op list. Got hit, cause you made it on my op list. I pull up with 37 niggas like what's the dirt? No conversation, just up and burn.
Oh, we also got to discuss the demise of what's that podcast has taken that guy's channel has taken a dive, But anyway, pull up with 37 niggas like, what's the dirt?
I let up a rap and it hurts. They gon' kick the bucket cause we'll get first. Call the fucking nurse. They do it cause they opportunists just dying of fucking thirst. But I come to work. These vultures encircle the culture. It's time to start hunting birds. And the fucking nerve cause these niggas is fucking herbs. Use your rap just to up their purse. That's a fucking word. If rap didn't do so much numbers, these niggas be country nerds. Getting gore. Sit them down like Torre. Cause too many y'all can't still breathing. Mask on, no features. Niggas thought it was deleted. Jesus, why these niggas so egregious? Because we don't use no gatekeepers. We just need to do what they did and treat them like Shabuzi was treated. They my sons, no custody plan. Yo, I was looking at my in advance. Shout out to the company, man. But I just learned that I'm a company man. Since I'm a coach, I'm just here to provoke you. Niggas been eating, but niggas been poachers. Tell them the time is over, hey.
Yes, it's fun times. We don't care about those Joey badass back and forths. This is what I'm sampling right now. That's what I'm getting into. I'm talking about.
We've moved on from it, but it would be such a shame for me not to mention this African doing it big. So I'm just going to quickly go back to that. Her name is Zodwa Nyoni. She's in the spotlight this week because of the release of season 2 of Netflix Castlevania Nocturne, of which she is one of the lead writers. So shout out to Zodwa Nyoni, born in Zimbabwe, I think based in the UK, based in England.
Big week for the Zodwas across the world. Big week for the Zodwas.
Yeah, so there's this article on Gizmodo.com where they interview herself and the producer of Castlevania Nocturne, which is a hit. And they're talking about the show and all of that. So, shout out to Zodwa Nyoni, not the other Zodwa. Yeah, okay. I mean, now that we've mentioned it, we may as well get into it. So Phil, how much of Young, Famous, and African did you watch?
Maybe an episode and a half. I think there was a time I was forced to because she's like, let's just spend time together. And then I was reading the news while it was on, but I had my headphones on. So I'd catch a few shouts here and there. And then I was trying to understand why this Lewis dude is scared of women. Turns out he's a former J-Dub who got red carded. That's why his family abandoned him. And then apparently his only friend is Zodwa. But then Zodwa, like, when I first saw the show, he was with Zodwa. Like, she was helping him at the wedding, whatever. And then the rest of the episode, I couldn't find her. I was like, what happened to Zodwa? Easy. Where'd she go? And then, the wild thing about that show is that I don't like, that is actually ridiculous. And I don't understand why people, sometimes things are so bad, they're entertaining, but sometimes they're so bad, they're funny and somewhat entertaining. The dumbest and most weird thing about that show is whenever they have a function, it's always them and them alone.
Yep.
There's not even extras. So, Swanky, is that his name? Swanky will have his party, whatever.
Yeah.
With the whole orchestra and everything. How many people are coming? 6. 6 people. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, so someone's getting married. I bet Zoda's officiating. Dope. How many people are going to be there? I don't know, 15, 16 people.
Okay.
It's an intimate affair.
Let me it's so obvious. This is unscripted reality TV, but it's quite obvious that large sections of it are scripted. And that's okay. I mean, it's entertainment, right? It's not a documentary, whatever. I don't care about that. But it's pretty clear that this is not real life. There's vehicle car hire companies have been cashing out. I can tell you that much. And you know these private.
What do you mean,
jets.
Dan?
How much does it cost? To get B-roll of a private jet on a tarmac?
Well, it's free. Well, I guess, do you think have you ever seen those jets leave the tarmac? Have you ever seen the jets leave?
Come on, man.
Those cars. Have you ever seen people driving those cars outside of very controlled conditions?
Anyway,
like, how come there's no follow shots? How come there's no shot of like the person driving the car and then a car following them all the way home?
That's okay. You know what? We knew that going in. The idea was to portray glam and luxury, so there were some liberties taken. No problem. I actually have no issue with that. This is entertainment after all. It's TV. My biggest problem with this show is all the relationships are so unrealistic. It's I can't believe, again, taking everything at face value, as much as we know that obviously some things were dialed up for the sake of drama and for the sake of audiences and all of that, but I can't believe that people really, really are that obsessed with self, entitled, grandiose, delusional.
And have you not been to Harare? When was the last time you were at La Parada? When was the last time you were at La Parada? I think it's been too long.
Now, I know several people. There's people that I know of, and I'm sure there's people that you know of who they are weird. They say weird stuff. They do weird stuff. If they were rich and famous, it would be acceptable. It would be, that's what this is. But since they're not, everyone shuns them. It's like, what the heck? Like, the most common thing that I kept hearing was people who would say some version of, I need to put people in their place because do you know who I am? You don't come to me like that. You don't come to me like that. You got to know who I am. It's like, yo, it's so frustrating to see people.
Meanwhile, I'm watching this show. Keep in mind that I've been in the entertainment industry. You know, I think I've done some things in the entertainment industry on an African level. And outside of Nadia and a few other people, I was like, who are these niggas?
Who are these niggas? Okay, to be fair, I know Nadia.
2BT alum, by the way. 2BT alum.
2BT alum to watch, not even listen to watch in crisp 720p our full interview with Nadia Nakai on Two Broke Twimbos. You can scroll up. And Nadia is very good at reality TV in the sense of being entertaining, in the sense of showcasing emotion while still
being humanizing herself.
Yeah, honestly, she's as far as I see it, she's the best character on that show. A close second might have been Kanye Bao in the first 2 seasons, but I think that's also because she was framed as like the unofficial leader of the group.
Oh, Kanye Bao was in the show before. Oh, okay. That explains her cameo. Okay.
Yeah. She was more in the show than anyone else. Now, here's how they operate, right? Typically, what will happen is, this is every storyline. What will happen is a small subgroup of the bigger group will meet somewhere. Someone will share something personal or secret or something that's going on in their life or a thought or a crush or whatever it is.
Keep in mind, this will be at a public venue, but no one else will be at the venue.
Then that person goes and shares it with the rest of the group, but they misinterpret it and say it wrong. The rest of the group misinterprets it, and now they're angry at that original person, who then gets angry back. And at the end of it all, they understand what the truth is and they apologize to each other. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And why is it so natural?
That surrogate storyline was so wild. Everything about that. What the hell was going on there?
This is how bad it is, right? So this is in season 2, I think. I can't remember. Season 2, this Lewis character goes to... So Lewis comes on and he says, listen, I've got this history with my family. I really want to have kids, but I haven't met anyone I want to have kids with yet. So I'm considering surrogacy. So she tells this to... he says this to a couple of the other guys. The guys are like, I don't know, that's a bit weird, dude. Just get yourself a girl. Anyway, later on, Zari, the boss lady, happens to mention that, you know what, she's got a couple of kids, but she wants another one, but she's considering surrogacy. So this guy, his ears prick up, so he goes to Kanye Bao and he says, yo, I heard Zari talk about surrogacy. Clearly for me, like, you know, for surrogacy to happen, I would need someone to donate sperm. I'll donate the sperm, someone needs to donate the eggs, and then we need a surrogate mother. Do you think it would be weird if I went to Zari and asked her to be the person to donate the eggs, since she's already talked about her interest in potentially being potentially also exploring surrogacy? And Kanye's like, I don't know, that's a bit weird, dude, but yeah, you should ask. So Kanye then goes to Zari and says, I was sent by Lewis to ask if you'll be the mother of his child. And she's like, what? What the hell? And then Zari goes and tells Jerry, your friend that you brought here says he wants to impregnate me. What? So now they're fighting because What are you doing? And I'm just like,
Wait, Dad, you went through the back catalog?
I did.
You went through the back catalog. Oh my god.
I watched
What has happened to you?
I watched season 1 when it came out, right? So when I saw everyone talking about season 2, I was like, I'll just put on some trash TV while I do my work. This time it didn't catch me as much as those other ones. So I was watching it while I was doing my work. But I remember thinking like, yes, this is all drama, but y'all are terrible people, man. Y'all just, it's like everyone goes out of their way to screw everyone over. And then at the end, no, but the thing is, we're family. We need to fight things out so that, we can stay family. Yo!
Even though we were randomly put together by the show producers and we never knew each other before this.
And this is what happens. A new person enters, right? It'll be like, this is my friend Lewis from Namibia. The next episode, Lewis, as you know, we're family. We have to stick together. Like, this dude came here last week, yo. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, sorry, he's killing me. Oh, God.
Anyway. Highly recommend. Watch Young, Famous, and African. When Bonang was on the show.
Uh-huh.
That's the only other person I guess I've met out of, who else is there? I was blocked by Kanyimbao. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So Bonang was on the show, and this is what happened. So when Lewis first comes on, he's gonna have a conversation with the boys, and he says, I know, okay, I've met Bonang, because he's like, I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, da, da, da. I've actually met Bonang before. It was many years ago. I booked her for an event, and I messed up because she was supposed to come to an event in Namibia, and it was part of like Fashion Week, da, 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 and I was taking care of it, and then I forgot to book her accommodation. I had reserved it, but I hadn't confirmed it, or da, da, da. So she got to the hotel, and her accommodation wasn't booked, and she was like, screw this, I'm leaving, and she left. So I'm looking forward to meeting her so that I can apologize to her in person, because yeah, that was kind of messed up.
Why is Lewis always apologizing?
That's a huge storyline as well in the show. Anyway, so Jerry then goes to Bonang and says, Lewis says he knows you because he booked you for an event and then you didn't get flowers, so you canceled the event. And then Bonang is like,
what? No.
Then Bonang is like, how is he putting shade on my name? What? I take my work seriously. Who is this guy? I've never met him in my life. Let me Google him. I've never seen this man in my life. That's a lie. And then she's like, I've been to Namibia only once. I went there for some awards or whatever. Anyway, so the next time now, Jerry deliberately puts them in the same space so that, because Lewis wants to meet her so that he can apologize, and she wants to meet him so that she can call him out for being a liar because she's never met him before, and clearly he's trying to use her name for clout. So he gets there and he starts off.
Who's Jerry, by the way? Sorry, I'm trying to remember.
Jerry Swanky, the stylist.
Oh, Swanky. Oh, Swanky, yes. Yeah, Swanky's messy as hell.
Yeah. So this dude starts off by apologizing, right? And then she's like, she like there must have been something. I feel like they cut out scenes or something because it just doesn't. She flips out on him. She's cussing him out. There's like some elements of this whole surrogacy story as well about how he doesn't. No, it wasn't surrogacy. It was because he was advising Fantana not to just become another one of Diamond's side chicks.
Cheryl's daughter.
Yeah, and then it was just turned into this whole, you don't respect women, you think women are just plate there. I don't know, weird. She craps on him. Then he's like, I don't understand what's going on. Then she's like, you've never booked me for an event. The only thing I went to was for Fashion Week. And then he's like, yes, it was for Fashion Week. And then she's like, no, but then I did this, and it was canceled because of da-da-da. Then he says, yes, it was canceled, it rained, and then we ended up doing it indoors, and then you didn't come because, or rather, you were supposed to be at this place, and you, whatever the details were, and then he's pulling up receipts and whatever, and then she apparently got so ticked off by the whole show that she never came back. She's like, this is insane. This is insane.
Wait, so that was the last time she was on the show?
Yeah. She was in the promo for the show. She was highlighted probably as one of the main characters, like a new bombshell enters the villa. What a ridiculous show. I would love to hear what everyone thinks of this show. Now the big debate. Okay, here's the big debate.
Oh, really? Is there a big debate then?
Yes. So, on Young, Famous, and African, there's famously two people, or rather in this particular case, there's two people who have this huge ongoing war. It's Annie Idibia
from
Nigeria and
Which reminds me, do you remember like when we did our Two-Face interview? Do you know like what the majority of all my friends were asking me?
Yeah.
So like, yo, did you ask what he's doing to Annie on that show? And I'm like, I will not be asking a legend about something I haven't even watched. But from what I've seen, your Two-Face is going through it, bro. Free my man Two-Face. Yo,
Well, look, I mean, some of these are self-inflicted problems, so I'm sorry I don't feel.
Let me not say that. Let me say that about someone's wife. You know what? Okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Let's be careful. Let's tread carefully.
So so there's these two different. Okay, there's two different camps, right? So in this season, the two big fighters were Annie versus Nadia. Now Annie, apparently, well, from watching season 2, I don't know if you'd have seen all of these conversations during production, but from watching season 2, at some point Nadia says during season 2, I mean, I'm not really friends with Annie because Nadia's beefing with with Swanky, sorry, and Nadia's like, well, I'm not really friends with Annie like that. I'm only friends with her because of you. So clearly, I'm down with you. You know, I'm your boy. So Annie comes in right from episode 1. She's like, Nadia said she's not my friend. She's fake. So why the heck was she coming to my events? Why is she hanging out with me? She said she's not my friend. She's not my friend. When any reason?
You mean why is she coming to the events the producers told her to attend because it's part of her show?
Now, any reasonable person would immediately understand that this was in context of your beefing with Swanky. She's like, I'm closer to him than I am to you. You're not even my friend like that anyway, so I'm on your side. But to her, it was she's fake. So at a wedding, in the middle of the wedding, during the reception,
well, the fake wedding, then the fake wedding, the fake wedding.
What? That was fake? No. Well, everything was fake. We're discussing storylines here. We're not discussing a documentary. Anyway, so she blows up at Nadia, blah, 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 calls her a witch, da. So now they're beefing this whole season, right? And Nadia gets mad. She's mad, for example, that people throw an event and they kind of hide that it's supposed to be an intervention for the two of you to talk and blah, 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 blah. So the big debate was who was in the wrong, right? Because yes, Annie messed up in shouting at her at the wedding, but Nadia's response was like, that's your elder, you're supposed to respect her, you can't be speaking like that, da. And I couldn't believe it. I felt like, did I watch the same show as everyone else? Because people were saying no, but what Nadia did was wrong. I was like, first of all,
where do you get your online commentary, Dan? I need to figure out what algorithm you're using because it's wild.
It's Elon's algorithm. It's everyone's algorithm. So the debate then, or rather not the debate. I actually searched for this. I searched like, what are people saying about this show? Because I knew we were going to talk about it on this podcast. And a lot of people were saying, oh no, I'm team Annie, team Nadia, whatever. And I was like, I literally cannot fathom how someone could possibly think it's okay for Annie to come. It then gets revealed later on in the show that she had a miscarriage, so she was acting out of character, and that's why she was.
No, that's not Annie. That was not. Was that Annie?
Annie, yeah. Nadia's issue.
Annie had a miscarriage.
Yes, she miscarried. She was carrying twins, and she had a miscarriage in between season 2 and 3. Or no, actually during season 2, because at some point she wasn't drinking, and people were like, "Oh, that's why." Anyway, but no one knew. Again, it's the storylines. No one knew. So people were like, they can't understand why she's acting out, why she's lashing out at everyone, da. And then obviously Nadia's issue was she had just lost AKA and, she was going through it. I can't believe anyone would look at that and say Annie was not in the wrong. What are you talking about? How can she do it? She was 100% in the wrong. But then again, all of them are also instigators, so... Yeah, look, that's a little bit of a look at the very, very, what's the right word I can use? Educational.
Illuminating.
Can I tell you what I learned from that show?
Tell us. I'm sure you learned a lot. Life lessons.
Real life lessons. So an argument that I've always had with my wife, right, is she feels that I don't understand catty women. Because catty women won't be catty to the guy. It will just be amongst themselves. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, I understand that. But I also believe that yes, while there are some terrible people, most of the time I think it's a misunderstanding. And because we anticipate or expect that it's a catty woman, therefore it now gets escalated, right? And she feels, no, I don't think you get it. She thinks that most of the time it's actually just women being catty to each other or being competitive or being whatever. And it's like, it's not good, it's not healthy and whatever. And it just comes out as this weird like cattiness between people. So, I mean, I'm observing these people and literally every single one of them behaves in this catty-like manner of just like throwing shade and saying like nasty stuff and bringing up hurtful things and making little subtle moves to try and demonstrate who's got the power. And I'm like, you know what? I might have underestimated just how prevalent cattiness might be. And it's not like it's not like it doesn't exist amongst men.
Yeah, but men aren't as subtle. Men are very overt. With a man doing it, it's very easy to see. Oh, he's trying to sun me. With women,
exactly. Yeah. With men, it's this whole trying to sun or trying to show that. I'm now just triggered remembering an interaction I had. Anyway, moving on.
Did you let someone sun you, Dan? Is that what happened? Did someone sun you?
Yeah, attempted to, but you can't sun a father. But not really a father. I just mean.
Tell him, King.
Okay, some other things to talk about, Phil. Let's talk about. Okay, so there's this story that you shared about Netflix, and if we are going to be tech ombudsman. We can take a minute or two just to talk a little bit about this, right? After discussing all that,
we nonsense. Are the ombudsman.
Let's get back to the nerdy stuff.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a great segue because we're speaking about the content on Netflix, the stuff that makes them valuable. Now we're going to speak about how valuable young rich and Africaners made Netflix. You see, synergy, simpatico. You know what I mean? Segu, we segu. Right. So Netflix just released their results. In short, they are doing big monies. I believe they grew 18 million, almost 19 million subscribers in Q4 2024. A lot of people attribute that to the NFL rights that they got. And I was thinking about that earlier today, and I was like, it's actually quite a genius move, especially for the rest of the world. So one of the things that I think maybe Americans don't appreciate and understand is when you're not in America, sometimes watching American sporting events because they control so much of the culture, it's difficult. If you don't have DSTV and you don't have ESPN and ESPN isn't airing that very particular game at that time, it's hard to watch. Not to mention late at night. But especially like Super Bowl performances, before YouTube, hard to come across, then they started uploading them to YouTube, which is great. But now the Beyonce Bowl, the moment the game was over, it was available. I think this Christmas, a lot of people for the first time were able to watch American football games live in the comfort of their own homes without having to deal with all the massive banner pop-up ads from pirate websites, which is a great, like in this age of people fighting for TV rights, especially for sports, it's a great get because like football rights, kickball, soccer rights are oversaturated. Basketball, someone has limited reach, but those rights already bought up. Baseball, I don't think has global appeal outside of the Americas and Japan.
And it is declining.
Yeah. NHL hockey, same story. Golf is already sold up. So the NFL was like an untapped market and they've been trying to go global for a while, but unsuccessfully. And I feel like Netflix provided the solution. Not only that, the same goes for boxing events and pay-per-view exhibitions. We take it for granted because SuperSport makes it really easy to watch a lot of pay-per-view fights. In the rest of the world, it's not. You know, like in America, you pay $90 to watch a boxing match. It's wild.
Even like whenever you hear people talk about watching Premier League games, it's difficult to get access and the amount of money you have to pay for that. And we just are just kind of like, SuperSport.
So I say all that to say, I do think that Netflix had a coup there. And on top of that, they've had a lot of good content. this year. They've reduced, and the reports, so they've reduced the content they've reduced. So there's a report I read from Luminate as well about TV, and they're basically like TV productions down. But on top of that, they are destroying their competition. Right now, Netflix has 302 million paying subscribers. Disney has 159, Max has 111, Paramount Plus is 72. In terms of time watch, these are American
Before you
stats.
move on from those numbers, quick aside, Disney have way more than Netflix sort of bundled up payments. So it's how can I explain it? So
Disney,
let's say,
Hulu, ESPN Plus.
yeah. So they'll count it as we have 150 paid subscribers, but let's like imagine you tell someone that you can come into the Disney theme park for free, or you can come into the Disney theme park, but with your ticket you get a free paid subscription. You know, it's like that kind of stuff. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. So, in short, Netflix has been doing great. And then when I share this in the group, damn, what are the numbers? So, Netflix reported a record-breaking fourth quarter 2024 with 18.9 million in new subscribers and bringing its total to over 300 million worldwide. 300 million subscribers as well. This surge was driven by popular live events, including Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson, boo, boxing match, and the NFL games on Christmas Day, as well as the release of Squid Game Season 2. Financially, Netflix revenue in the first quarter reached 10.2 billion in a quarter, bruh. 16% year-over-year increase, with earnings per share doubling to $4.27. The company plans to raise subscription prices. This is the caveat that I also wanted to get to. The company promises to raise subscription prices in the US, Canada, Portugal, Argentina, with the ad-supporting tier increasing from $1 to $1 to $7.99, and the premium plan will rise by $2 to $24.99. I pay 140 rand for my Netflix, which is less than around $10, I think, roughly.
Yeah, I pay about. I think it's $10.
But
it's about $10.
People are paying 2.5 times that much in America. The same for Apple Music, the same for Spotify. It's a bit wild. And people are paying it because Netflix, as it evolves, continues to become more and more like a cable subscription, a satellite subscription, because now they've got TV. And I repeat, if you have a VPN, log into Netflix America. You will be amazed. I don't understand how Netflix America has so much content. It's insane.
So, quick aside from the world of investing. Are you familiar with FANG stocks, Phil? The idea. So FANG is FAANG. It's the idea behind it. These are super high performing tech stocks from America that had, literally multiple 100% returns on 5-year plus investments. And those stocks are Facebook, now Meta, obviously, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. And for a long time, a lot of people are like, why is Netflix in there? Because all the others are literally over $1 trillion market cap, for example. Meta is, I think, 1.5. Apple is even over 3 trillion. But Netflix only recently reached 400 billion. A measly, ridiculous and embarrassing 400 billion.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
So it's been very interesting because people always thought, like, why
Wait, did you say 400 million, 400 billion? Did you say 400 million?
400 billion.
Yes, I was making.
How can it be million, Phil? You just described $10 billion revenues.
No, I was just making sure. I thought I misheard you. Yeah. I don't want us to get caught up in the comments, yeah?
You dumbasses, we are smarter than you. How could you think it was a million?
Anyway, so we had a very interesting conversation in the Patreon group about how Netflix's strategy seems to be leading towards a lot of local content. So obviously in South Africa and maybe in other African countries like Zimbabwe and Namibia and where others might feature, a lot of people would subscribe to Netflix just for Young, Famous, and African. Yes, it's got all these American TV shows and whatever, but probably the main thing that will make you subscribe is the African stuff. You might subscribe it for all the different reality shows and some of the different shows that they have on there. If you're in Nigeria, you might subscribe because of Nollywood movies. If you're in Korea, you might subscribe because of all the Korean shows and whatever. So it seems to be a strategy that they've employed, which is working well for them, that they're increasing international subscriptions by focusing on production of very local content, which is, by the way, also much cheaper to produce in many of these territories. And it's very interesting to observe that actually, yeah, there is a lot of I get South African recommendations, obviously, because we don't have a lot of Zim content. But I guess it shows that there's how many people, if all of a sudden there were 10, it just got announced, there's 10 brand new Zimbabwean TV shows on Netflix. How much would it cost to make them? Less than 100,000 to make all 10. And one's a sitcom,
why are you sure?
One's a documentary, one's a da-da-da-da-da, and it's just how many subscriptions would we get in Zim?
I actually don't know, because that's a tough nut to crack.
But Zim also, we are not.
Your
we don't
example
have a
is
culture of online purchases in general. Look, I know
we can't purchase. We can't purchase unless they bring. Unless they partner with yeah, unless they partner with like EcoNet for an EcoCash partnership, so people can pay via that. It'll be very difficult because it's only the 1% that can afford.
The sad thing, Phil, is
just swipe.
You can't. There's so many. So okay, there's the bank, right? But obviously we know the bank comes with exorbitant fees. But realistically, it costs less than $10 to pay for Netflix. The bank fees will maybe make it a total of $13 for you. The majority of Zimbabweans, that's a lot of money. Understood. But there's a large section of Zimbabweans who spend way more than that on entertainment. So all it would be is just the ability to pay. But because we're such a cash economy, we are not used to. You can do it through you can create an EcoCash an EcoCash Forex card. Your own bank that you use can do that. You can use this new in-score thing, the Inbox thing. You can use Mukuru. All of these are like free to sign up. For any transactions less than this much, it's free, or you only pay cents or whatever. All of these, the things exist. It's just our culture doesn't accept it. We don't have a purchase things online culture, but it's not like the infrastructure doesn't exist. Maybe it's too complex, I guess. But yeah, that is interesting. And I guess what we can then expect is in the coming years, they're going to lean more and more because they pay billions of dollars for licensing a lot of, this international content. And they could literally pay orders of magnitudes of percentages of that and it seems people actually prefer that. So people were sharing their experiences like no, in my family, on Netflix, we almost exclusively watch South African and Nigerian shows because that's what the family wants to watch. And lots of people were saying stuff like that. So I think, it's going to be very interesting to see what things look like in 2 or 3 years, 5 years even.
I think it's a beatdown, and this is what I was getting to as well. Is so Illuminate released a report for film and TV, and then they talk about streaming platform, 24 streaming platform share of U.S. original content viewing time. So this is viewing time. How much time the respondents that they surveyed view the various services. So in obviously we have other. Then we have a Max, formerly, what is Max? Max was HBO Max before that. What a terrible name change. At 1.5%. Peacock, 3.1%.
This is what growth?
Disney Plus. No, this is viewing time.
Okay, yeah.
Share of viewing time. Disney, 4.4%. Hulu, 5%. Apple TV, 5.3%. Paramount TV, 7.8%, Prime Video 8.5%. So you see, I've listed all but one, all of those in single digits. Highest is 8.5% for Prime Video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can also say Prime Video is probably in the lead because Amazon Prime comes with a free Prime TV membership. Mm-hmm. So if you're paying for fast delivery and packages, you get that, plus you get Amazon Music. Great deal. Netflix, 63.5%. That is market domination.
So the reason I responded in the group, obviously Netflix is dominating, but I was saying this is not an accurate picture of to what level they are dominating, because watch time doesn't affect revenue. Well, to be fair, 1 billion out of their revenue in the quarter was from advertising. So watch time does affect revenue to a quite an extent, but the majority of their revenue was not from watch time. The majority of their revenue is from subscriptions. So,
but then what one hand feeds the other?
Not necessarily, because they have different strategies. HBO's strategy is low volume, high quality, which means they're only going to realistically have 1 or 2 shows per month that everyone is concurrently watching. But the idea is
no.
Maybe
you remember when? Remember. Sorry to interrupt. This one, I think, I don't want to disturb your point, but this one's important because remember, HBO Max isn't just HBO; it's HBO Discovery. So it's everything on the Discovery portfolio, Warner Brothers, and HBO.
Yes.
So Warner Brothers is part of Max, and Warner Brothers and HBO do not have the same strategy.
Correct. However, without digging deep into their full strategy for the year as an overview, top looking down, HBO's general strategy is low quantity, high quality. They have shows like
But that's not HBO anymore. But you're saying but HBO is no longer Max.
Okay. Max, which comprises of HBO and also has Discovery, but HBO specifically is known when people sign up for HBO or when people sign up for Max. The reason I say it's their strategy is because that has been their acquisition strategy. It's been. If they're going to change, it would still take a long time before we see any fruits of that change. But it's been their strategy.
But they have. Zaslav has changed it in the last year, though.
It will still take more than 1 year to change. Because the reputation that exists for Max is, the new Game of Thrones show just dropped. Season 2 of...
now we're podding. Now we're podding, actually, then. Now we're podding. Now we're actually...
Oh, my God. Can I finish a point? Damn, Phil.
Jeez Louise.
My point is, Netflix strategy from the get-go was, we don't care about quality. Rain shows, movies, throw them on there. And some of them are going to be hits. Some of them are going to be fire. Some of them are going to be high quality. But by far, the majority of them are terrible production quality, slop. Sometimes it's locally produced stuff on very low budget, so you can actually see that it's low budget. And that strategy works for them because it's people then sign on because as much as you've greenlit 100 shows, 20 of them were hits. That means 80 of them were a waste. But that's how you find those 20. Whereas HBO strategy has been, you're saying it's changed, and I don't think it has 100% changed yet. I think they've just introduced new ideas. But now, HBO was known that everyone has to watch Game of Thrones now. Let's go. Everyone has to watch House of the Dragon now. Let's go. Everyone has to watch White Lotus now. Let's go. Everyone has to watch Succession now. Let's go. That's been their strategy. Somewhat similar acquisition strategies on Apple and Amazon are slightly different because they're bundling in with other things, right? So they all have different acquisition strategies, but their content strategies very often isn't the same as Netflix's, which would lean itself towards high watch time because there's just so much on Netflix. And yes, there is a correlation between subscriptions and watch time, but I believe it wouldn't be proportional, which is why I was saying I don't think those are the numbers that are relevant. The closer numbers that are relevant are number of subscriptions. So you told me that Netflix has 300 and something million subscriptions, right? Disney Plus has 150 million. So what we should be looking at is 50% of Netflix. But the revenue discrepancies, or rather watch time discrepancies, are hundreds of percents. So that's why I'm saying that it wasn't an accurate portrayal of the streaming wars. It is an interesting stat, but subscriptions and revenue, I think, is more interesting.
Okay, so the reason why I was so rudely interrupting you,
yes,
was for two things. A, you're wrong. So the first point being
the fact that Disney. Go ahead.
So the first stat is there's 2 points. You made the point about watch time, and then you made another point.
First point is that I was saying that Netflix's strategy leans itself to higher watch times anyway, so you would expect it to have higher watch times.
But yeah.
Different.
And I was gonna say one hand feeds the other, right? So ideally, yes, brands may have different strategies. Where we're a premium brand, you're paying for the premium product. If we're dropping one new show a month, you might buy into that. But consumer behavior has pointed away from that because there's payment fatigue, there's like just a myriad of content options, and the fact that it's a bit of it's slightly off topic, but proof of my point is the fact that all these platforms are now licensing their content to Netflix, and their shows are becoming hits when they land on Netflix as opposed to when they're on their original platform is testament to how much market share Netflix has and how much of the zeitgeist Netflix has. The other thing you're mentioning about Max, pedantic, I know, but I'm petty. Max comprises of Warner Brothers, Discovery, right? HBO, CNN, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Animal Planet, TBS, TNT, and Eurosport. HBO is definitely part of that platform, and HBO was the jewel in the crown, which I think is why they changed it from HBO Max to Max, because they have so many other things, so many other brands. But I would say there's a substantial amount of content there between Discovery, Cartoon Network, Animal Planet, TBS, and TNT. That is a lot of content. A lot of content that Netflix would love to have there. And in some instances, have some of it. So, and considering that HBO Max is bundled with so many internet subscriptions or phone plans, it's surprising that those numbers are that low. But even if they were high, the view time is testament to like how much are people enjoying the content you guys have on this platform. Once again, because I'm now on the American American streaming platforms, I'm seeing that there's a new season of Harley Quinn that I didn't even know was a show, like the animated series. I was like, I'd actually like to watch this, and it's on Max. But if I don't know about a Harley Quinn show, I'd rather regular consumer. Also, I am already fatigued, but so like when I come home, it's before it was like you turn on to DSTV and you knew the bouquet of DSTV and you could pick, okay, I want to watch news, so I'm going to 400. I want to watch sports, I'm in the 200s. I want TV, I'm in the 100s, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it's like when you come home, you've got a DSTV decoder, a WizTech decoder, an SABC decoder, Chinese TV decoder, a ZTV decoder for all the Indian and Bollywood stuff. And your first step is, okay, which universe do I want to enter? Then when I enter that universe, which show do I want to watch? It's not a fun experience, yo. It's overwhelming. You know what I mean? Mm. Then on top of that, every month end, it's $24 Netflix, $20 HBO Max, $11 Disney Plus, another $12 Paramount Plus, $10 Spotify, $10 Apple TV. You're back to paying for cable.
Yeah, consumer behavior has changed, right? And is continuing to evolve, because I think all of us sort of have this, like, you know what, I pay for Netflix and Showmax and Apple TV as part of like a family plan, right? So I have three streaming services provided, but there's sometimes something that will come, like, for example, well, I'm glad now that what's that sniper show is now available on Showmax. But
have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it.
Oh, Dan, you gotta watch it. Come on, hurry up and watch it. Oh, Dan, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
So this is the point that I'm trying to make, right? So again, I'm applying nuance. Two things can be true at once. I'm saying, yes, obviously Netflix is far and away the leader when it comes to market share. But I don't believe watch time is an accurate measure of market share because of their different strategy. That's what I'm trying to say. So
and I'm not speaking of market share though.
Yes. So Netflix is just for reference's sake, right? Obviously it differs by territory, but Netflix on average has, let's say the US, Netflix has roughly 7,000 titles in the US. In Slovakia, they have 8,500 titles. Very interesting. So roughly 7,000 titles on Netflix. Do you know how many titles there are on Max? Max has 1,300. Okay, no, that doesn't look right. That seems too low. Hold on, let me see. Max has 1,000. This one says 1,839. Okay, I think maybe they're separating movies and TV. But okay, Max has less than half of the number of titles that Netflix has. And I don't think there's any streaming platform that has as many titles as Netflix, because that's their strategy. Their strategy is to have a ton of stuff. Now with Max, if I was a subscriber to Max, I would have finished Succession, White Lotus, and whatever else, and I'd be waiting for the next season. I wouldn't be watching anything else. On Netflix, there's so many things that I'm watching. In fact, I would probably move from after the main marquee shows. I would then move to go watch some slop on Netflix. And I can see, like you're saying, these guys are also evolving some of their strategies, and Max have basically combined multiple different services. So now there's going to be other stuff. But my only point was, I don't believe it's accurate to say that Netflix is 60% versus Disney Plus's 8.5%. When what's more accurate is probably, if we were to look at number of subscribers, it's like, okay, now we're looking at like 100 versus 50. Makes a bit more sense.
I think you're misunderstanding the story I'm trying to tell with the data, and this is probably terrible.
I'm not misunderstanding.
What I was saying was,
Phil, you made reference to the fact that I had an issue with your numbers. So I was explaining. I said the issue I had was I just don't believe that the most accurate way of measuring market share is watch time. I think it's.
But I'm not measuring market share. I'm measuring watch time.
Okay. Of course, the most accurate way of measuring watch time is watch time. That's not what I was referring to. I was saying I don't believe watch time is the most accurate way of measuring market share. I would love to see, that's what I said. It wasn't a debate or an argument. It was, you shared some statistics, and I said, I would love to also see subscribers and revenue. That's what I said. I wasn't saying that, oh, this is wrong or whatever. Why is it an argument? Why can't it just be, oh yeah, subscribe? So I was explaining why I think subscribers and revenue is more relevant than watch time. That's what I was saying when it comes to market share discussions. But of course, there's other discussions that can be thrown in there.
I granted, yeah, but I'm speaking to the value of retention. So in a silo, I think that there's a lot of value, especially on Wall Street, but also as a product designer, and saying, are we creating the content that people want to see? If people come onto your platform, and for the majority of the time they're watching TV via your platform, that's a good sign, right? Whether it's good or bad or whatever, just the fact that their interaction with their TV is centered around your app, that is a great indicator of stickiness.
Good health. That's partly true, but in the conversation about consumer behaviors, stickiness is very valuable in opt-in sort of scenario. So the idea is, I am opening a website, or I'm searching for a YouTube video, whereas a large proportion of media consumption is autoplay to the next episode, autoplay to the next show, autoplay to the next movie. I do think that watch time is valuable to measure, but as consumption patterns change, I would argue new subscriptions on the announcement of a new show is more valuable than watch time, because that helps you know that, okay, this kind of show increases revenue. This kind of show is clearly something people are interested in. Watch time could indicate that, or it could also just mean people left the TV on. People are kind of watching, or they are Netflix and chilling, or their TV's on while they're cooking, or which is okay. But that's what I'm saying. Like consumer behaviors are evolving, and watch time, while an important metric, might not be at the be-all, end-all as it was when Netflix first launched, or 5 years ago. That's what I mean.
I'm not saying a be-all, end-all, but if I'm a consumer, let me give you the scenario. I'm a consumer. We've just discussed the myriad of payments coming out of my pocket every month. There's going to be some lean months, like now, January. Things are tight. I'm like, guys, I can't be spending $80 on streaming.
Yeah.
Let me stop and think, where am I getting value? I think it's the normal human response, and the interaction would be, I'm getting value on the platform I use the most. So, as much as I may love Succession, which is a great show, Succession only comes out once a year, 10 episodes. White Lotus, once a year, 10 episodes, sometimes once every 2 years. Netflix, I'll finish Young, Rich, and African. Then I'll be like, oh, snap, there's the new season of Night Agent. Then there's Designated Survivor. Then there's this, then the third. You know what? It may not be the best of shows, but at least I'll be entertained. So you know what? Without a shadow of a doubt, Netflix is getting the default payment, and everything else I'll figure it out as I go. That's the value in it. And I'm growing on it because it's also true to me. I don't keep subscriptions for Apple, right? It's on and off. Or because because I'm a skillum, like when my mom or my dad gets a new device, I'm like, let me register that device for you. I'll just put my Apple ID, and then it'll give me the free year. Then I'll put it back in their name. So Apple TV, not really. Max can't get here anyway. And we get a lot of the Max stuff on Showmax, which is once again why Showmax is such a great. Damn it, Showmax should pay us. Showmax is a great deal because you get HBO Max, you get Peacock, you get all the stuff, and it's a great deal. Anyway, long story short is I think they're all just a series of metrics that, as someone who's observing it, and if I was an analyst or an investor, I'd be like, yo, it's looking really good right now for Netflix because it's dominating on all fronts. I'm getting value for my money. Share prices up, subscriber numbers are up, plus the views are up. Everything is pointing up because you can always poke holes in whatever stat, right? You can say, yo, you got high subscribers, but how many of those subscribers are engaging with your content regularly? And then you can go back to like daily active users, watch time, etc. You know what I mean?
Quick bear case, right? So, Netflix is clearly doing very well. And in the streaming wars, it seems to be winning. However, in the ranks of the biggest talkability IP that we are expecting to come out in 2025, number one is probably James Gunn's DC Universe, which is not going to be on Netflix. That's going to be likely it's going to be on Max, right?
Are we talking about the cinematic releases or the TV?
Both. I mean, obviously the movies will come out in cinema run first, but then they're going to be streaming on Max. And then I'm sure all the TV shows, they announced Lanterns, right? Peacemaker season 2, we're expecting it to come out this year. So for someone who's a huge fan of that kind of IP, I'll tell you what, for me, right now, if I need to make a decision, things are tight. I'm subscribed to 3 different streaming services. I need to cut out one. Okay? So my options are Netflix, Apple, and Showmax. I think I will most likely stick with Netflix because it's the one I watch the most. But my position on that is not as strong this year as it was last year. Last year, it was definitely not even a question. This year, it's like, well, I mean, I do watch Netflix more, but I enjoy Showmax more. And I mean, it's not like I watch TV all day, every day anyway. Nah, I think Netflix is still better. Who knows? Next year, I might be swayed over a little bit that, yes, Netflix has more stuff and I watch more stuff on it. But the things I actually want to watch in the limited time that I have, maybe Showmax. So right now, yes, but Netflix is choice because of watch time. But I believe consumer behavior is, at least mine is, it's evolving a little bit to lean a little bit more towards what I think is more valuable.
Wait, I would also hazard, there's one oversight you're making that we shouldn't do is we're cross-pollinating a discussion centered on American analytics with a Zimbabwean/South African experience. Americans don't have Showmax, so they don't have the choice you have.
Yeah.
I think what you said makes sense.
I'm just using the example that I have. They just like I don't have Disney Plus, right? And they do. So I was just using the example I have. My point, I was simply making a point of saying I can see. I can see a scenario.
Technically, you can get Disney Plus. You just the missus is in SA, she needs to register on the phone. That's the annoying thing about Disney Plus. Like they only let you verify in South Africa via phone, but for some reason, when I'm on roaming, it doesn't send the text to my SA number.
You know what? It's okay. There's nothing that you guys have forced me to pirate. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. That's what I ended up saying.
Yeah, so my point is, I do think that it's not as strong a case. It's a strong case still, but it was 100% before. It's now 98. And cracks are beginning to show that, yes, I watch most of the stuff I watch is Netflix, but I'm a little bit more interested in some of the content on other places. And to be fair, Netflix had first mover advantage, and all these other juggernauts took so long to figure out their streaming services and their offering and their user experience, which sucks. Every single app apart from Netflix sucks. I don't understand how they're so bad.
Even
reverse
even
engineer.
Netflix, Netflix, because I think it might just be for the American account, but right now, because now Netflix has WWE. Navigating through that is a nightmare on
Is it?
Netflix. Netflix now has it's very like when you think about it, right? WWE deserves its own app because it's got
Does it have
two
its
shows
own app?
every week. No, it used to, but it deserves its own app because they've got two shows every week. They've got SmackDown and Raw, plus all the next level events, right? Then they've got all the monthly pay-per-views, the current monthly pay-per-views, and then all the historic pay-per-views, all the historic weekly shows, and all the highlights. Like trying to organize that myriad of content within the Netflix interface is a nightmare.
Well, let's move on from this very nerdy discussion. What can we talk about here? We have some new music.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of new music actually. I wanted to introduce, but I think are we done with all we want to talk about? Oh
No, I was just scrolling here through the talking points, and I was like,
I've now
okay, we
crashed
already
my
talked
laptop.
about TV. I mean, why would two Zimbabweans here be talking
I
about
think-
the LA fires?
I think it's time for me to sell a kidney and buy a $5,000 MacBook because this one is full and I'm tired of just deleting files. So I need to get me a 3 terabyte MacBook now.
What you need is an external drive, Philip.
Nope, doesn't work. Your idea is terrible, and I've dismissed it out of hand. Oh, we need to talk about some TV. Children of Blood and Bone. The patrons were going crazy about that. They were talking about that earlier. I'm not really a fantasy novel person. I'm gonna try to get into it actually, because as you know, Dan, books of that ilk were not looked upon with favor in my household. All it took was my mother burning my Lord of the Rings box set for me to be like, you know what, I can't take these risks.
Why?
If you thought your mother was evangelical, oh Lord,
Why would you have them out in the open? You know what I'm saying? Why?
That was my mistake. My mistake.
Anyway,
my mom was so Christian. She once came to the school with an elder and said, "My son can play rugby." I saw him hurting children on Saturday, and that's not biblical, and he will not do that again. And the elders had to. I even felt bad for the elder because the elder had to argue, like, "Yeah, sorry, but yeah, you can't be playing rugby anymore." So like, it's some.
So I've never read Children of Blood and Bone. From my understanding, it's a Nigerian fantasy novel that features a dark-skinned protagonist. And it seems that the announcement that was made is that Amandla Stenberg is going to be playing this character. And people were upset because it should be a dark-skinned character. Completely understandable, makes sense. Where I disagree is why you upset at Amandla. She, just like anyone else, is looking for gigs, looking for work. She is going to send in her auditions. She is going to, you want her to put herself out of consideration because, no, sorry, this one is for only dark. Okay, yeah, not that one. That one is for larger women. Okay, not that. They're looking for work. These people are looking for work. They need money. The person you should be angry at is maybe the director or the casting director of that film. Don't be mad at Amandla. What the heck?
Dan, why are you coming on this podcast and trying to speak sense to internet people? Have you learned nothing?
I saw people talk again. Like I said, I haven't read the book. I will at some point. But like, why would you be mad at the cast? The cast, people's like, no, but why is she always inserting herself? That's her job. Her job is to send out as much auditions as possible to get as many movies as she can. Maybe if she gets to a stage where she's now sitting on $100 million or whatever, and she's like, yeah, no, let me be a bit more selective. Let me try and support other people. She is in rent is due. I need another gig real quick because that acolyte money is running out. Anyway,
sometimes I think we got the Twitter we deserved.
So Children of Blood and Bone has been announced. Casting has been announced for it. Tusom Bedu, Amandla Stenberg, Damson Idris, Tosin Cole apparently going to be taking lead roles in this fantasy film. We're expecting it to come out in 2027. Will Earth still exist in 2027? Stay tuned to find out.
The way they're moving, it'll be a hot like fire.
And okay, so obviously, like, completely understand conversations about, because from what I understand, part of this character's narrative arc in this story is that she gets discrimination because of being dark-skinned or more dark-skinned than her sisters or something like that. I haven't read the book, like I said. So there's people who are like, her skin tone actually matters to the story. So why wouldn't you just cast someone who's got the right skin tone? That having been said, I mean, I don't think they even necessarily spoke about or they necessarily identified who's going to be playing what role. Did they?
No, they did. The director.
Okay. Yeah, they did. They did. So Princess Amari is going to be played by Stenberg, by Amandla Stenberg. So yeah, so I mean, people are upset, and okay, fair enough. Valid point that needs to be made. That listen, why wouldn't you rather than just cast a dark skinned character? Maybe you should have, but don't be mad at Amandla. She's just doing her job. Anyway,
once again, your algorithm is very sad. I feel sorry for you. Like, all I see is just jokes these days on my time. I've blocked everyone. You should do the same. Just block people. Your life will be fun.
Not sad at all. Not sad. I'll be looking for content for the listeners. This is for you guys. I do this for you. I do it for you around. Yeah, and then there were some trailers. I partly watched the Daredevil trailer, and then I realized that it was spoiling Echo, which is taking me a really long time to watch. It's not bad.
The Daredevil trailer. Oh, the old Daredevil. Oh, I haven't. Dude, I even realized I forgot there was Echo, and then I was reading the report. I was like, oh, there's 2 new Star Wars shows. I'm like, do you know, like, what has Disney done to the things I love? What has Disney done to the things I love?
I actually had to write it all in a list because I realized that I don't even realize what I've missed and what I haven't missed. Okay.
When will we watch this, Dad? When?
I'm in no hurry, you know. So in the MCU, I haven't watched Echo. I'm finishing up Echo. I have 1 episode of Echo left. It's only got 5 episodes, and honestly, it's not bad. I actually quite like it. It's not amazing, the best, can't wait to watch it or whatever. But it's not bad. It's pretty solid.
Proving my point that Disney is just a content company now.
I haven't watched Agatha All Along, which I'm told is amazing. I haven't watched What If season 3, which I'm told.
I did this.
In the DCU, I want to watch Creature Commandos. In Star Wars, I last stopped halfway through the book of Boba Fett. I need to figure out where I stopped, which means I need to catch up with what happened with.
You need to watch it again. Boba Fett is Mandalorian 2.5. That's what I'll tell you.
Then in Star Wars, there's Star Wars The Bad Batch, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, Ahsoka, Star Wars Tales of the Empire, The Acolyte, and the most recent one, Skeleton Crew.
You see what I'm saying?
I haven't watched any of those, and I looked at that list and I was like, you guys are joking. And then only because I want to keep up with comic book movies, not because I want to watch them, Venom 3, Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web.
I'm not watching Madam Web. I watched like the last 30 minutes of it because it was on in the thing, and I was laughing my ass off. It's like, you love comic book movies, don't you? You love comic. No, actually, no. I lie. I was told I love comic book movies, and I was like, yeah. Then I was like, not that one. She's like, yeah, you're so picky. No, we're watching this because you watch comic book movies. I was like, all right, cool. And I just had a healthy supper, so thank God, because that movie was boring as hell, and I was out cold. I woke up for the last scene. And it was bad, and I laughed, and I was like, "Oh, so you watched it, right?"
And what'd she think?
No, the thing is, I've established a pattern, so I had plausible deniability. She knows that after 9 p.m. when I'm on the couch, there's a high likelihood of me falling asleep. So being old and washed is working in my favor.
No, I mean, what did she think of the show, of the movie? Sorry.
No, she liked it. She was like, "Oh, it was okay," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool."
Really?
She liked it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it just for science, just so that I've watched this in this Sonyverse whatever thing, and I know the story, and the movie sucked because I know that all 3 of those are gonna suck. Even the new Venom. Did I mention the new Venom?
Yeah, the new Venom was so bad, even she was like, "It was this cuck." That's when I laughed.
Then I
Because the
also
moment
have
it
to
came
watch Gladiator 2, Wicked, and Sonic 3.
Wait,
This
I
is-
thought you were watching it this weekend. I thought you were watching it this
Yes,
weekend. Then
I
What are
am
you
watching
doing?
it this weekend. I'm just telling you that I
you
wrote
said
down a
this
list
weekend,
of
last
things I haven't
weekend.
watched. Oh, last weekend I didn't watch it because I was watching. No, what did I do last weekend? What did I do last weekend? There's something I was doing that stopped me from watching things I wanted to watch. Anyway, yeah. So the point is, there's a lot of
you're
stuff to
looking for
watch,
Chester.
and as I saw this Daredevil trailer, I saw there was a plot point in there. I was like, oh snap, this is semi-spoiled Echo, so I'm not going to watch this trailer until I watch the full thing.
Dan, I'm done. I don't lie.
I'm going to allow
Maybe
a
I'll
little
come
bit of
back to it.
fandom, just a little bit of fandom. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, they squeezed the fandom out of me. They squeezed it.
Also,
Sometimes you gotta know when to walk away from the table.
guys, how far Drive to Survive? Please. Hey. Be quick. I need it quickly to prepare for Lewis in red. Look, that's it from me, Philip. From here on out, it's new music, and we can wrap it up. We have a solid 2-hour podcast to deliver to the people. Them, not that we're time watching. I'm just happened to notice that we've been recording for 2 hours. Nice. Which is I don't want us to get used to 2 hours. It should be organic, but at the same time, not something that happens every time. After this, I'm actually going to cook. At the beginning, you may have heard me crunching a little bit because I didn't have food. My missus is still away, and so I was like, I need something to hold me over, and then now I have to go actually cook. So
let's with these new songs. Are these all from our producer, or did you insert one that you were enjoying?
These are all from our producer, but let me see the ones that I am familiar with and I know are dope.
So let's do a rated. Let's do a hot or not. Let's do a hot or not.
I think the hot or not that we must absolutely be doing is this Dennis song. In fact, we need to phone him and react with him live.
But we can't do that because unless you fix your audio.
Well, yeah, I've fixed my audio. Okay.
Where can I find the song?
I've just found it here on.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, hold on. Let me call Dennis here. Yeah. I even have his number.
Is he on the artwork? I don't even see him.
Do you know what? I don't have Dennis's number.
Kunze kuneri mashako sainde ikoko Wakadaru mama shikanitsa famba nechikoko Ndakakura kutecha ndaito grinder for more Now ndatupa topo vanorwadziwa shoto Kunze kuneri mashako sainde ikoko Wakadaru mama shikanitsa famba nechikoko Ndakakura kutecha ndaito grinder for more Now ndatupa topo vanorwadziwa shoto
vandakapinda pahiti vakandibvisa palisti musango wanzika mesi asi makuru vakamenti taure straight ndikati tela urobhedhi Johnny.
Wait, just to confirm, does he drop a verse or like does
I
he do
have no idea. I
what
just
is
saw
he
his name there for I don't know. That's why I wanted to call him.
nyama iveji kana muchipira zvikapageji
Kunze kuneri mashako sainde ikoko Wakadaru mama shikanitsa famba nechikoko Ndakakura kutecha ndaito grinder for more Now ndatupa topo vanorwadziwa shoto
Kunze kuneri masaka usaenda ikoko hatichazopemberera kana tasvika ikoko vaida kutimora uchimukoko asi nhasi tauya amai kuda usamo saka pakutoda chipawa atakamenda magrawa aiwa pakuda uchihepi awa kuti upenyu usaite sawa
Kunze kuneri mashako sainde ikoko Wakadaru mama shikanitsa famba nechikoko
Yeah, what do you think, Phil?
It's alright. It's not bad.
It's very similar to the slew of hip hop songs in the realm of Holy Ten and Mr.
So-
Candy and Michael Maggs and whatever that they've been putting out the last couple of.
I don't want to blow up this guy's spot too much. But I found a young Zimbabwean making hip hop and he's killing the game across the border. And I don't think they know he's Zimbabwean. But if you listen to his music, it's all there.
It's just like. Anyway, let me not. It's just like there were some people there and young, famous and African who were speaking in Shona, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if this means anything, but just an interesting thought. All right, shout out to that song by Denzel, Tapiwa, Mr. Hyper, Dennis, Boris, and Mills Million. It's called Rima.
Sorry, I wanted to play this song.
I listened to this Kiki Badass and African Wine song and Denim Woods. I wasn't a fan. Did I hear this new ASAF? Let me see.
No, this isn't it. Wait. Maybe it's not on Spotify. I'm trying to find this song here by this young artist that I mentioned, and I'll play one of his bigger songs. He's actually apparently he's doing the things. He's doing the things in South Africa. And he's building quite a following. So if you keep a lookout, you might see him somewhere.
Yo, diamonds is black and blue. Minutes from man, flow so sick when the mic on, I got flu. Counting my bands, man, I got like 10 times 10, you ain't even got 2. Bitch, rockin' all pink, yeah. I call him Margin Boo. Yo, damn girl, you look fine. You look bad. In a way, I'm changing my mind. 102, 304s, put my on the line. IG bitch, I'm for real, cause she saw me on Instagram live. She told me I'm the one for real, cause I told her she's a 9. I'm just tryna have fun for real, no way I'm making you mine. She was just giving me my way. Go, mega mine. She only see me at night, like I don't be no guy. Ooh, hi, my name is Soldier. I ain't gonna hold you. Went to your crib and I stole you. I don't wait from Toyota Corolla into a Rover. If I pull up in that fashion over, your fashion's over. Shit.
So that's the song sampling, but here's the jam. Let me know what you think of this.
Mommy tryna touch the whole game. Must be easy. What's your friend's name? Way too easy. Militant man. Nick Freeze. I'm in Gauteng. Got the kid teeth. Then put in the gang. Colored mommies love it when I lane. I said bleed, babe, I'm tryna hang. Ace Chief, she call me Soldier Man. I'm a vet chief. No, I'm next chief. Nigga, then I do the rest, chief. You find out what happens next, chief. Soldier quick to leave a mess, chief. Drop the Addy, then your dress, please. Couple rands on me, she like bless me. Hit the gym, now my pockets flexing. SAP is coming like a rest game. He the next big thing. Nigga, I don't know a thing. My chopper like Brennan made that sing. I need a bag. 6 sling, I walk in the club, it's bling, bling, bling. I walk in the club, it's oh my god. Your soldier done, no Taliban. I came out of Ramburg, now I'm far. Now I'm in a big truck, not a car. Whole gang, must be dizzy. What's your friend's name? Way too easy. Militant man, Nick Freeze. I'm in Gauteng. Got the kid teeth. Then put in the gang. Colored mommies love it when I lane. I said bleed, babe, I'm tryna hang. Ace Chief, she call me Soldier Man.
Excel, what's the life? Scaife. Your wife, come and let me hit it thrice. All pussy got a price. I got some haters that love me.
That's right. That is Kindly Nash with the Nasty C called the Ace Chef Remix. So Dan,
Nash for Tinashe.
While we're on the, I'm not gonna blow up the spot. No, it's Anashi. But so I was looking. After I saw Fantana on the show, I was like, what does she do? Outside of being very thicker than cold peanut butter. Apparently, she's a rapper.
Oh, I thought she's a dancehall artist.
So I wanted to see some of her stuff. So let's play a song, one of the biggest songs on Fantana's project. Also, I'm very confused because this show is supposed to be like the epitome of.
Phil, it's entertainment. Don't. It's not a
Artist.
documentary. It's just entertainment.
Have you seen how many? Have you
Look
seen
at
how
it
many
as
monthly
that.
listeners just on Spotify? Have you seen how many monthly listeners just on Spotify?
I don't even want to know because, again,
Okay.
Nadia's my girl. And when I heard shade about songs, I was like, oh, please let it not go in her direction. You know what I'm saying? Let's just leave it and we move. Peace and happiness.
Let's
all around.
listen to Fantana's song called Panadol.
Panado.
The Almighty on this one.
Pass me the builder. This migraine won't shut me down completely. Completely. Me now wait to the last day. Life with no love is no life at all. At all. Baby, please be my Panadol. Send it to Amazon. I won't like no tramadol. Your love feels like Panadol. Baby, be my Panadol.
That's it.
Send it to Amazon. I won't like no.
Your love is my Panadol. Send that through Amazon.
So is that her singing that?
Feel like tramadol. That is indeed her. Yeah.
Oh. Cool. No doubt.
Can't wait to hear her song with Diamond. That's gonna be a banger. That's what that's gonna be. That's gonna be a banger.
Anyway, let's wrap it up there, Philip. Listen, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode here in this 2025 Anno Domini. Two Broke Twimbos are back one more again. We're looking forward to interacting with you. If you would like to join the exclusive and illustrious community of Two Broke Twimbo patrons, all you got to do is go to twobrokeTwimbos.com/donate and pledge a young $5 per month minimum. You can do a little bit more than that if you are so inclined. We would greatly appreciate it. It allows us to keep this podcast going. And it's also a great place for us to just have great conversations and great interactions and follow up on some of the stories that we talk about in this podcast and about other stories as well. We were a little quiet over the holidays, but I see the interaction is now at full tilt right now. And also,
it has reached a fever pitch.
It was a genius idea to make a separate group for sports ball because, sometimes I go in there and I see you guys talking about your stuff. I'm just like, what on earth are these people saying? So glad I don't have to read all of this. Anyway, so twobrokeTwimbos.com/donate. You can also do once-off donations there. We'd greatly appreciate it. Please support the podcast you love. Another way you can support us is by dropping a rating and a comment on whatever app you're using right now. The one you're using right now to listen to the podcast. If you're driving while you're listening, when you arrive at your destination, just before you step out of the car, take your phone, open your podcast app, drop a rating and a comment. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we're gonna end with something new, something nice. I don't know what it is yet, but there's several options available. And shout out to our producer. And I guess we'll see you in the next episode.
We're out. No, guys. Guys, be good to each other. Be kind. Have a great 2025. And stay positive. Oh, yeah. Kando's got a show on Friday. Are we going there tomorrow? We're going to support.
I have another. I'm supposed to be seeing Taps tomorrow. I spoke to Kandoro and I was like, let me see what I can do. Okay, quick thing. A couple of people have been asking me about an update about Chester. Chester is my Swiss Shepherd that went missing. It's now 3 weeks ago in this neighborhood. I've spread the word far and wide, and I've infiltrated the old white lady WhatsApp groups. Those white lady WhatsApp groups are invaluable because I've had several people reach out to me with potential leads that didn't quite pan out. Today, I received a video and it was a very, frankly, borderline xenophobic message about the Chinese neighbors. And apparently, she took a video of some dogs that might or might, it's a little blurry. I can't 100% quite tell, but it looks very close to what Chester might be, locked up in a little guardhouse / toilet or something, and like barking in there. There were 2 dogs in there. And she says, this might be them. I tried to call the SPCA. They couldn't get access, so we're trying to figure out what to do. So I pulled up by that house. That room, it's like a guardhouse on the wall outside, and it's all boarded up now. I tried to knock on the gate. I tried to hoot. I tried to call the dog, and I couldn't get anything. So I'm thinking I need to pull up with goons. So Phil, Mount up. We're going to have to pull up and repeat what we had to do in December and rescue Chester.
Does Chester have my money? I'm not rescuing. As you know, me and Chester have a mixed history.
That's okay, but that's what families do, Phil. They fight and then they come back together. Have you learned nothing from Young, Famous, and African? Anyway, that was just an update. I thought I'd share that with you since several people asked me about it since the last episode.
No, thank you for that.
Okay, everybody. We will catch you in the next one. We out.
Tia ndingatyei nindinashi nekuti sitare kuberekwa donzi tinashi mupenyu ndinoda mari kusvika ndife ndoda kubuda geto ndakananga sababwa ndoda mabhima handichade pamari kondakta ndoda simwana kumba kwavo ndonobvisa mathaza zvino ndoda zvichinjisa mabude abviswa rasta ndoda kusunungura marasta muomwe mane mathaza mama panze pari dangerous ndinamatireiwo zviri siriyasi vakuona kunge tane mathaza vanogona kungoswera vatiitira bvinazo of course pandiri panopisa vane makore vakutadza kupasvika pachapera haipi tichavakanganwa kuti kunana ningi vaye vaimboimba mbichana zvichibatana mudhuri hausimudzwe newani tei baba ndikadaro ndinenge ndatopakanya unoondomoka ndikashaya bekugara ndichazotadza kubatika padheni kugara negengi tiri pajeni kumba ndichingouya makuseni ndorara ndichifadza vanhu kondini hepi ndingatyei nindinashi nekuti sitare kuberekwa donzi tinashi mupenyu ndinoda mari kusvika ndife ndoda kubuda geto ndakananga sababwa ndoda mabhima handichade pamari kondakta ndoda simwana kumba kwavo ndonobvisa mathaza zvino ndoda zvichinjisa mabude abviswa rasta ndoda kusunungura marasta muomwe mane mathaza ndiri kushanda kuti vana vangu vasazotarise madziro vawane nyama mundiro dumbi vagoita madiro mukadzi wangu wagutsikane ndezviripo mama wiki muchachenjanisa pamunoda trust the process handibate mushonga muchanzwa pipi moziva ndadzoka ndatenga muskoro vabetengirozi dzigondichengeta ndoda kuzofamba munzira dzakangochena but mari yese paichadzoka ndichazotenga zidheni kumadokero zvaendwa muchachena sadewa ndichalinga narema tichagadzira benga